Hello, guys. Hope you're well. I'm going to be here for about 40 minutes. I'm going to break down a code that I did yesterday and tell you some of the reasons why I still code the sports. So from the outside looking in, people think I code the sports just to gamble and win money, but I don't gamble. So it's for codes like this. So I was an avid professional sports fan. Avid. Okay? Loved them. Pretty much all of them. Because I'm an athlete. I love to play them. I love to watch them. I did gamble on them. It was so much of my life, professional sports. So I've come to realize that they are an illusion at the highest level. And then if professional sports are an illusion, is everything else within the world an illusion? That's what happened to me. Because I gave so much time to sports at the highest level and so much interest and so much love and idolatry. So I know through my codes, I've actually taken people's passion from professional sports. And I know I've also led people to maybe watching them more because they bet on them. You can't be perfect in this world with it. I know I've had people give up their season tickets because they believe that it's all satanic. They don't get joy from it. They think it's all coded. And like I said, I'm sure there's plenty of other people that have taken even more of an interest in them because of my codes. But now they're watching the games to see the code play out more than to just watch the game thinking it's all organic. So Satan is the god of this world. And he's deceiving billions of people with professional sports. Billions, guys. And it's still, I have this, I don't want to say anger inside of me. Bitterness, maybe. I have this bitterness inside of me that for 34 years, he allowed me, or I allowed myself through my spiritual blindness, to be so consumed by people that I don't even know. All right. So I know a lot of you, you'll watch my videos at the beginning. You'll go on my Twitter and think, okay, you're just an obsessed sports fan who's leading people to gambling. That's not how it is. All right. You don't know me. And also, this might shock a few of you. You know, I know the Bible, guys, very well. There's nothing that says gambling is a sin. So you hear a lot of people tell me, you're promoting sin. Gambling is a sin in the Bible. It's not a sin in the Bible. Love of money is. Love of money is. There is not one verse that says gambling is a sin. It's the same people who tell me because I have a beer every now and again that I'm not a good Christian. I'm not sure where it says in the Bible drinking beer is a sin. It's just basically, guys, when you put things above God, all right, when you put your love for something above God, I think the biggest sin is dismissing Jesus Christ. That's how I see it. All right, let's break down the code. So I'm going to talk about the best team in the NBA, in my opinion, Boston Celtics, and the worst team in the NBA, which is the Detroit Pistons. I'll break down the whole game for you. I'll break down the pre-code, what I saw during the game, and then I'll wrap up exactly what happened. Now, at the beginning of the game, Boston Celtics, enormous favorites. So they should be. They have a perfect home record. They're playing against the Pistons with the worst record in the league, who've just lost 27 straight games. So I'm going to show you, this is just how I operate with the coding. I don't just look for odds pre-game. If you are a coder and you are somebody who has a website or a Patreon and people are paying for your picks and you're still a fanboy, that's on you. My advice is don't just look at the money line pre-game. All right, I've taken my members to the next level with that. So I don't look, okay, where can I find value? I'm like, I get guided to specific games. So before the game, nobody's betting Boston Celtics because they're minus 2,500. Nobody's betting on them before the game. There'd be no reason to at all. All right. And I'm sure a few people took a little flutter on Pistons. They were like 8-1, plus 800. There was a few people on my website who took them at plus 950, and they won because they went up by 23 points. If your team goes up by 20, they pay you out. So I'm really happy for them. They took a chance. I was like, Boston are not losing this game, but good luck. They rolled with it. Good for them. Like I said, when people win money, I'm happy for them. I think when you start having an addiction and you're betting money you can't afford and it consumes you and it takes over you, that's when, like, for example, I would leave my website if it's consuming you. But if you're able to do it and have a flutter every now and again and it's not consuming you and it's just part of who you are to an extent, but it's not taking over your life. Like I said, in the Bible, gambling's not a sin. So Decoding Oz and I, we pretty much message every day. I think he's an exceptional coder, and I think we're actually building a friendship now. And he's like Boston Celtics, close enough to before the season began, maybe before the season began, I'm not sure. But he likes the Boston Celtics to win the NBA. So we share our codes, him and I. Not all of them, but we share our insights because so often we have the same insights. Sometimes we differ. And I've been keeping an eye on Boston. I've been keeping an eye on them. So I had them to beat the Lakers to go 23-6 for LeBron James's jersey numbers. And way more if you go on my website and read the code. And then I like the 24-6 because I've seen that Boston connect to Lionel Messi. So, for example, Decoding Oz doesn't see that, but he sees many other things. He's more focused on Bill Russell. I see the Messi element. Like, what I'm looking at is Messi's just won the World Cup, okay, which is the most watched tournament in the world. I want to see the clubs that are most connected to Messi and Argentina's numbers. It's why I had Leicester to win the championship. They're super connected to Messi and Kobe. So for whatever reason, I've figured out that certain people within this realm, either living or dead, are super connected to the outcomes of these sports. So when I saw Boston could go 24-6, that's Messi's birthday. And it's also the anniversary of modern day Freemasonry being founded, which was founded in 1717. And Boston Celtics have 17 NBA championships, so do the Lakers. And Boston and the Lakers both won yesterday. Although they were both big favorites, they both won. And the only thing I was saying to Decoding Oz, I was saying Boston Celtics code is unbelievable. And I found loads. But are they going to keep them both on 17 championships? Because Revelation 17:17 is how the beast reigns. How God has given power to the beast to reign, to fulfill the word of God. Then I was like 18th championship, 6+6+6. And Bill Russell, who wore number 6, and Kobe, who was drafted at age 18. So I've just been looking and looking and looking. For example, England's Euro 2024 campaign begins exactly 18 years after Messi's first ever World Cup goal. Messi's first ever World Cup goal was in Germany, where the Euros begin, where they take place. They begin on Donald Trump's birthday. His 78th birthday, like Argentina won their first World Cup in 78. But Messi's first ever World Cup goal was in 2006, which was Kobe's 666 game. And he scored against Serbia. And exactly 18 years later, England's opening game at the Euros is against Serbia. So I make these connections. I'm like, that's really good for England. But now I've just said that in this live stream. For example, if England don't win the Euros, somebody will edit this video and said, right now, you said England was a lock to win the Euros just from that comment I've just made. It's like, no, I'm just processing the information and getting it out there, and people do as they wish. Like, for example, the member on my Patreon who won $28,000 from taking Argentina, he went big on them because of my code, which I did about a year before. So it varies. There's people who took England. Do you know what I mean? Maybe they went big on England because I did some videos for them. So a lot of it depends on like how much of my work you see. If you're on my website, you see what I'm posting daily, how I make all these connections, how I can say this and then go there. But I've made the connections as to why I've done that. It's not covering myself like people say. So anyways, let's break down the game. If you want to take Boston Celtics to win the NBA after this code, you can, but it's completely up to you. Celtics went in overtime after coming back from 23 points down. I can't comprehend how an NBA team can lose a 23-point lead. In an organic world, I just can't. When it comes to sports, for me, just being an athlete, when you're cruising and everything's going well, and I've played basketball, not at a high level. I can play it, but I've never been on a team. But I know what it's like when you're shooting and you're shooting and it's flowing. All right. And so often in the NBA, teams or specific players, they're playing unbelievably well. And then they can't make a basket for like 7 minutes. And you're like, what's changed here? And I know a lot of people will give credit to the coaches, but I don't think it has anything to do with the coaches. I wish it did. It does at my level. When I'm coaching, I think coaches have a huge impact. All right. But again, I don't think Satan's got involved at the level of coaching where I'm at. All right. There's not billions of people watching it. There's not people gambling on it. There's not the energy harvesting. There's not the idolatry. It's just parents watching their kids. All right. And two coaches who want to win a game. So I do believe there's an organic element of it, thankfully. But I do believe that Satan has infiltrated professional sports. If you haven't watched my video, football or professional football and spiritual wickedness, it's one of my must-watch videos. So I'll give you an example. The Pistons scored 36 points in the second quarter and 16 in the third. That's a 20-point differential. And the Celtics scored 20 points in the second quarter and 35 in the third, a 15-point differential. So thankfully for me, I don't often do this, but on my Twitter, when Boston were down 11, I said, Boston are down 11, I still think they win. And I don't often do that on Twitter because I know there's people that want to just come for you. You said Boston were going to win. You claim you're the greatest coder in the world. It's like, thankfully they won because I would have got hammered. And when you make these predictions like that in play, if you're right, next to nobody cares. And I said that to Decoding Oz. I was like, it's such a crying shame that you can do incredible codes for big favors and people don't acknowledge it. And you can do the most mediocre code for an underdog. If the underdog wins, what a code. And it's like, it wasn't. So I'm going to show you a code here. Then I will read all of your comments, I promise you. Just let me read this out. All right. This is just what I put. Again, it's up to you what you do with this code. This is great for Boston Celtics to win the 2024 NBA Finals. Boston came in 23-6 after beating LeBron in LA, and LeBron wore 23-6 for LA. And now Boston are 24-6 after being down by 23 points. And Kobe wore number 24 and Bill Russell wore number 6. Bill Russell, guys, has won 11 NBA championships. All right. which is a record. It's a record. And we just had Super Bowl 57 on his birthday, which the Chiefs won. The Chiefs are really connected to the Celtics. And it's really wild. And he died in Washington very recently, 2022. He died the 31st of July, 317, the 66 prime. He wore number 6. 66 is the 11th triangular number. He won 11 NBA finals. Now, Boston Celtics, they lost the 2022 NBA finals the year that he died. And they lost it 4-2. 4 plus 2 gets you 6. And game 6 was on 616, the alternate number of the beast. And that's where Steph Curry and Klay Thompson became 4-2 in NBA finals. They play for the Warriors. They won the NBA finals the year that Ukraine was invaded by Russia. Steph Curry's middle name is Wardle. Steph Curry and LeBron are not going anywhere near an NBA finals again, which I've said since that year. All right, Steph's going to be 4-2. LeBron will be 4-6. All biblical, guys. How crazy that Russell won 11 NBA championships in 13 years. Wow, it's just incredible. And I'm not going to go through all the numbers I have with Bill Russell and with Boston Celtics. I'll save those type of things for those who are on my website. Thank you to all of you who are on my website, who support me. I am really grateful to all of you. Just some of your insights are incredible. Like I said, some of you are there to just absorb the information, but your Savvies, your Abids, your Chucks, Thomas Lockwoods, Rico's, like, honestly, Roger, the list goes on. Just the information that you're sharing. Patrick, I'm very grateful. Like, I'm so blessed that I can wake up every day and see insights from people with amazing minds who Hans, Pedro, Shaquille David, a nation worldwide, who are just Sydney, Smoggy, this again, Andy. Thank you. What I'm going to do in January, just to let you all know, if any of you are sitting on the fence with my website, I am going to basically offer you a month for free. Pretty much. How I'm going to do it is I'll give you any book. So I've got 8 books. They're all worth around $10. In January, anyone who wants to sign up, you will get a book for free, any book. And then if you don't like the website, at the end of the month, you can cancel. That's what I'm going to do. You don't lose anything. You're getting a book. And the book itself, honestly, whatever one you're going to read is going to blow your mind. So that's what I'm going to do in January for anyone sitting on the fence. I think 2024 is going to be an absolutely insane, incredible, and also wild year. So, right, I'm going to stop now and I'm just going to read the code. Boston were plus 150 at halftime after being minus 2,500 pre-game. Tatum scored 30 plus points, as I coded. Number 8, Porzingis. Number 8, guys, huge number I've been talking about. He scored 35 points. Messi won his 8th Ballon d'Or at age 35. Boston had 47 points at halftime, and Argentina have won 47 all-time World Cup games. I said to Decoding Us when they were down by 19, I said that 47, I think they're going to win. I think Boston are going to win. I could screenshot it, but I don't need to. 47 is the 15th prime. And now Celtics have 15 home wins and Pistons have 15 road losses. So I've shown people this numerous times, and the likes of Savvy, Lockwood, Chuck, they now can look at the halftime scores, not always predict where the game's going to go. But you look at the halftime score, you do the prime numbers, you add up the numbers which is, again, when this game went to overtime, I added up the numbers. I was like, this is very good for Boston. And then you look at the odds. Like, I was like, wait, Boston are down by 19 and plus 150. All right, that's a really good sign. It's not a gimme at all. It's still dangerous. Your team's 19 points down at halftime. But they're plus 150. Interesting. So you got to factor in. My brain was like, interesting, right? Tatum's doing all right, but my code for him tells me he's going to get over 30 points. Pistons aren't going to keep scoring at this rate. There's no way, although the NBA is incredibly corrupt and there is upsets, there's no way that the Pistons are going to blow out the Celtics at home, who haven't lost all season at home. So let me look at the spread. What's the spread? Oh, it's +4. So I can get Boston +4 at even money. That tells me it's going to be really close. And then like late in the fourth, like the Pistons were up by 6. And I was like, all right, this is getting interesting now. But listen, Adam, it's a 2-possession game. Celtics can get back-to-back threes. And I think they did. And then the game was even. I was like, wow, now Boston are -500. That's a great sign. So it's seeing those things. But for me, I don't often have time to do that. Last night I did. I just want you all to know, when I code a game, I'm not just watching it. I don't watch the games. I'm not getting like biting my nails. I used to do that, guys. When I bet, I watched the games. I bit my nails. I would gamble lots of money, thousands of dollars. And I felt my heart doing that so often when I was betting. One of the reasons I've stayed off it. And I knew myself, I was like, this ain't good for my health. It's great for my bank balance, but what's the point in making all this money and then my health just deteriorating? So there's a lot to factor in when you're doing this, but I will tell you this. It's so good for your mind doing this. All right? Some people get lost in it and consumed, which happened to me for 9 months. But it's so different now to look at a sports game from a numerical perspective rather than flat out fanboy perspective. It's a different way of looking at it. You can still get enjoyment out of it. I don't think there's anything wrong with getting enjoyment out of the world, but when you become addicted to it, or like I said, the idolatry of professional sports, you have to rethink what you're doing. Now, the game finished 108 after regulation, 108 days before the NBA season ends. I think that's great for Boston as well. And in this code, I coded Messi. And Messi scored Argentina's last goal of the 2022 FIFA World Cup after 108 minutes. Now, 108 is sacred in geometry. All right, it's sacred. It's a number that not a lot of people discuss. Is 108, but I believe our universe, guys, is written in mathematical language, and the 108, it represents unity and wholeness of existence when you actually break down the number. I think I've done a video about it, to be honest with you. It's big in theology. It's super big in our culture, is the 108. So, again, I don't find myself getting frustrated with these sports. I stay calm. So I'll give you an example of it. So the Celtics finally get the lead. And it's 108, 106. And there's a timeout with, I think there was 8 seconds on the clock. Oh my word, there was 8 seconds left of the game. So the Celtics are up by 2. All I'm thinking in my head, all right, is don't let the Pistons get a 3. Because I know people have gone in on the Celtics in play with all the stuff I was putting. I was like, don't let the Pistons win this by 1. That's what I was thinking. kind of like smiling, but also like slightly concerned of seeing that 3 drop. But I was like, okay, all right, they might tie this up. That's what was going on in my head. And I was like, you know what? I wouldn't mind them to tie this because that would be great for the Celtics to win overtime. So that's what was going on. So they take the shot. I can't see it, but I'll tell you this. I have an app. There is an app on my phone, and it shows me the plays, but I don't see the players. So it tells me if somebody's made a basket or missed, or if they've got a free throw, or if there's been a foul. So they take this shot, and they missed. A big X comes up, and then it said rebote in Spanish, which means rebound. I was like, and then it like froze. I was like, who got the rebound? Because if it's the Celtics, they're going to get fouled. They're going to go to the free throw line. It's probably game over. And no, the Pistons got the rebound with 4 seconds left, and they made the basket. And then Celtics this is what they do. Celtics get the ball back with 4 seconds left. Timeout. So it's just dragging it all out. The energy harvesting, which the devil needs. The demons need that energy. So the longer they drag it out, it's one of the reasons why I said in professional soccer, they're going to extend the games. All right. A lot of the time in finals, they finish as draws. So you've got extra time. Just look at the World Cup. All right. And then there's often these what might have been moments, like with France, the through on goal to win it. Martinez makes the save of his life. Now, if you ask anybody who's a fan of France, they still talk about that save. If only he would have placed it or lobbed him, we would have won the World Cup again. Like all these talking points that people still talk about years afterwards. And I was like, all right, they're going to take a timeout. Celtics are not going to make it. They're not going to make this final shot. Number one, there's 4 seconds left. And the 108, that's perfect with my code. And you add up those numbers, it's 216, which is 6 times 6 times 6. 21's the 6 triangular number. That's great for Boston to stay on 6 losses, especially with Bill Russell, who wore number 6. I was like, miss it. I'll take it if you make it. But I didn't see anything for 218 by adding up, or even 219. I didn't see anything. I was like, they're going to miss this. Then it went to overtime. Celtics are favorites in overtime, as they should be. And then they went down in overtime. I was like, oh, no. And then they ended up winning overtime by 6 points. So I was like, okay, good. This is what you call in gambling a dream situation. Some of your members took the Pistons at plus 950. They paid out. They won. And then a lot of other people took Boston in play. They won. I was like, okay, that's an ideal situation. And the code hit, which is the most important thing for me. So Celtics win by 6 points in overtime. Messi just won the World Cup in what was Argentina's 6th all-time World Cup final. And if you notice, the World Cup final, it went to extra time, just like this game went to overtime. And you start seeing connections like that. Do you know what I mean? You start going, okay, this is. And Decoding knows by the end, he said, good job. Told me good job. And he rarely does that. And not that I need a pat on the back, but halfway through the game, he was like, this has nothing to do with Messi. The 24-6 is not that relevant. I was like, trust me, it is. Watch. I said, watch. And he went, okay, then. And thankfully, everything I said were going to happen to him happened. So he's like, he said, good job. Now, this was the code, the pre-code. If Celtics win this and Tatum goes big, look out for them to win the NBA. Pistons will get their 28th straight loss. Again, for me, it's like all these players are coming through college. They are elite athletes. I don't understand how a team in the NBA can lose 28 straight games. And for example, in this game, they were up by 23. They were up by 19 at the half. I don't know how you lose that lead when you're a professional NBA player. There's not many of them, guys. It's not many that make it to that level. They should all be able to shoot, defend, dribble the ball well, keep possession, keep the discipline. All right? But for whatever reason, because I believe it's spiritual wickedness, they can go from primetime Chicago Bulls to looking like a group of guys playing in the local park. And that's not even joking. The turnovers that they do, the misplaced passes, the missed dunks. Guys, if I was 6'9", missing a dunk, my head would go. 6'9", and you can't dunk a ball. Pistons will get 28 straight loss. Kobe's statue, which you need to look into, guys, if you're coding, will be unveiled on 2/8, February the 8th. And if Boston win this, it looks great for Boston to win their 18th NBA championship with Kobe being drafted at age 18. And I've told you that statues, it's idolatry in the Bible. You shall not make idols for yourselves or erect an image or pillar, and you shall not set up a figured stone in your land to bow down to it, for I am the Lord your God. So just knowing that when they put up these statues, honoring these Satanists, people going and worshiping a statue, which they do, and they get their photo taken with it, that's idolatry. This is the type of stuff I'm trying to teach you through professional sports. It's like, just let it go, illusion. Kobe was amazing. There's nothing wrong that they have a statue of him. Well, biblically, there is. This ain't my opinion. I'm just telling you as it is through biblical scripture. So I think professional sports is the best way to honestly so often reveal scripture. I am sitting on a code right now where I was like, should I share it with my website? Should I do a video? Or should I just make a book about it? My code about Michael Jordan, I'm not going to say anything in this live. My code about Michael Jordan is one of the most biblical codes I've ever done in my life. Now, Michael Jordan has deceived billions of people. If you only knew how connected Michael Jordan was to the Bible, you would be blown away. And that's what I'm able to do through these codes. Thank you, God. God knew that I'm a talented athlete, that I gave my life to sports, and he's just turned my world around. I've gone from being a fanboy who wanted to be a professional athlete to now being able to see the code play out every single day. And I'm not perfect with it. I don't get everything right. I never will. I wouldn't want to. But to see the code and then see how that code connects to the Bible, and then also see how Satan is using these sports to lead us away from God. What a journey I've been on to get to this point. I can still code sports and still serve Jesus Christ. I'm doing it with these sports, guys. Now, there's some of you who are just gambling. You have no care in the world about the code as long as you win, and that's fine. I also understand that. I get it. That's not me. I care about the code. I'm deeply passionate about the code and about God, and I believe we live in a coded reality. I think it's impossible to deny because everything in the world has a numerical pattern. So I don't know what else I could do every single day to reveal the code if I wasn't doing sports. Okay? And for those who say your whole YouTube channel is about leading people to your website for your sports picks, because fair enough, you're good at them. Just please go through my catalog of videos. Like the live stream I did yesterday about Hollywood, I just don't know how that had anything to do with gambling. I'm not all about that. So just be careful with your accusations, although you're entitled to them. Say whatever you want, you know what I mean? But at least back it up. Like Zach Hubbard, who told me that I left my kids for gematria and I don't even have kids. Like, come on. Boston get 24th season win and become 24 in the conference. We know 24 is Hitler's birthday. We know all the war theme. I think, honestly, Boston wearing green is to do with the fourth horseman who rides a green horse, which is death. And we just had the death of Bill Russell, Boston's greatest ever player. Obviously, Kobe wore number 24. Tatum idolizes Kobe, all right? And he wears a 24 armband in his honor, which is very controversial because the Celtics and the Lakers, the biggest rivals, the two greatest franchises in history, and he's wearing his Boston gear with basically a Lakers armband, which is very interesting. But because the NBA fans are so infatuated with Kobe for what he did on the court, which I believe was spiritual wickedness, but incredible what he was able to do on a court. Guys, he was able to play in a game when he snapped his Achilles. The Achilles is very biblical. If you snap your Achilles, you can't move. And he was still standing on it and taking free throws. In his last ever game, he scored 60 points. And I know why, because I've broken down the code as to why in 42 minutes. But it's like, for me, it was like, he scored. I remember I was a big Lakers fan, or at least I thought I was. Maybe it was my ego. I live in LA. I'm going to support the Lakers. Unfortunately for me, when I was supporting the Lakers, they were struggling. All right. It was towards the end of Kobe's career. But I do remember saying to a few of my friends, Dixon and Matt, I was like, he just scored 60 points. Why would you not keep playing? I think it's a very fair point. I was like, he scored 60 points in his last ever game. Is clearly still unbelievable, although he took a lot of shots. I think he took 50 shots to get that. It's like, he's still a top NBA player. So we told her how competitive he is, and he was like, well, my body couldn't do another season. It's like, you just got 60 points. You just got 60 points. I think your body can probably do another season. But I know why. I know why he had to play his last game on the 104th day of 2016. Why he got 60 points against the Jazz. Why his last ever shot was over number 41. And he died at age 41. And he was taken out with 4.1 seconds left of that game. Because it's just the code. Now, I'm not saying Kobe knew that. But it's just the code. Whether they know or not, it's the code. Now, what else is there? I haven't really gone deep into the code yet. So I said Tatum idolizes Kobe and he wears a 24 armband in his honor. So he may go big, which he did. As the game is 300 days after his birthday, obviously the movie 300 connects to war. And 300, guys, is the 24th triangular number. And the game was 2 months and 4 days before his upcoming 3-3 birthday. So again, I don't know how many people in the world know that 300 is the 24th triangular number and can make that connection. But for whatever reason, I can. And I try and teach people those things. It would be very easy for me. I've said this as well before. It would be really easy for me to go back to what I was doing in 2021. Code, gamble, and don't give away all my secrets. So remember in 2021, I would put out codes and they would hit. I was like, I'm not going to give them all of my secrets because there was ego there. There was an element of, I don't want everybody knowing what I know. I don't want everybody getting to my level. That's selfish looking back, egotistical, because I was selfish and egotistical when it came to the code in 2021. I was still putting out mind-blowing codes and super accurate. But now I'm like, whatever I gather, I know it's through God. I want to share it. I don't mind if somebody becomes better than me. Good. That's a great sign. So I've grown in that. I do see why many people thought I was arrogant and egotistical. I believe I got away with it because I backed up what I said. But looking back, it is what it is. I also saw that Tatum and Porzingis combined for 66 points, and the Pistons were leading 66-47 at halftime. I've told you the 66 connects to Bill Russell. I also saw that Porzingis had 6 points at halftime. He ended with 35. And Tatum had 16, 6-1-6, which is when they lost the NBA Finals in 2022, Game 6. And Messi's first ever goal was on 616. So I even said that to Decoding Oz. I was like, look, and I put it on my website. I was like, Paul Zingers has 6 points, Tatum 16, 616. I said, this game's not over. Just from that. And then, so again, just explain this. How did Paul Zingers have 6 points at halftime, 6, and then score 29 in the second half? Tatum, fair enough. 16 points first half, 15 second. Consistent. Completely understand it. Tatum didn't score 1 point in overtime either. I was hoping he was going to end on 33 points. But I liked him over 30. That's what his prop was. But how does a player go from 6 points to 35? Now, it's not like his minutes increased either. What did Boston's coach say to Paul Zingers at halftime? Or was it just his code? He had to get 6 points in the first half. He had to get 29 in the second half. That's how I see it. I don't believe they know either. I don't think they know. I think that the NBA is wicked. I think it is this sick satanic fraternity, but I don't think they completely comprehend the code, all of them. I don't think they're the brightest people in the world. Okay? And for them all to keep it a secret. So they'll know certain things. They'll probably be aware of certain corruption, but I don't think they're fully aware of the code at all. I think they would lose their mind. Boston will become 24-6 for the season with a win. So, of course, they stayed on 6 losses after winning with 6 points. Matthew 24-6. One of the reasons why I've predicted World War III. Because in 2022, the US turned 246 years old, which is another reason why I think Messi won the World Cup in 2022, because he was born on 24-6. Really deep, eh? Argentina with the same colours as Israel. So Matthew 24-6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumours of wars, which just makes me think again of Russia invaded the Ukraine. That was 246 years after the US was founded. This is Matthew 24-6, guys. And ye shall hear of wars and rumours of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So this is not the end right now. But when you go on to read the rest of Matthew, you start seeing that maybe we are approaching it. Now, how does 246 connect to 9/11? I'll tell you why. Among the 2,977 people killed on 9/11 were 246 passengers and crew members aboard the 4 planes hijacked by 19 terrorists who had breached the cockpits. 246 passengers and crew members died on 9/11. Messi's birthday. And it's not all about Freemasonry, which was founded on 24/6. Just know, like the high-ranking Freemasons, all they are is workers for the devil. Now, they might not even be aware of it. The illuminated ones, Lucifer, the morning star. Don't get wrapped up in these secret societies. And I don't know how the secret societies, when we all know who they are, they're not doing a good job. Skull and Bones, the secret society, well, I know all about them. I can tell you, I can break down pretty much everything about Skull and Bones. So maybe I don't know necessarily what's going on with their rituals that they're performing, but it's not a secret society. You can find all the information about Skull and Bones. Messi won the 2022 FIFA World Cup. He was born on 24/6. And Argentina are now 3-3 in World Cup finals. Kobe equals 33. Boston can get their 137th home win versus the Pistons. 137 is the 33rd prime. Pistons dropped to 229. 229 is the 50th prime. I said to Decoding Oz, I think the score, it was 50-37. They took a timeout. I said, Boston win. He said, why? I said, Pistons have just taken a timeout and 50 points. They're going to go 229, the 50th prime. Kobe was drafted in the 50th NBA draft. He was like, nice. Yep. 13 points down. Kobe died at age 41, the 13th prime, with his 13-year-old daughter. Wow. Celtics get 15th home win as Pistons get 15th road loss. Kobe equals 15. War equals 15. The game is 42 days after Kobe's statue. No, the game is 42 days before Kobe's statue will be unveiled and 18 weeks and 1 day after his birthday. 181, 42nd prime. Kobe's last ever game was against the Utah Jazz. When you combine the jersey numbers of the Jazz roster in that game, it was 181 and Kobe played 42 minutes. Woo. Kobe won his first NBA Finals 4-2. The year he died, the Lakers won the NBA Finals 4-2 on National Father-Daughter Day, the year Kobe and his daughter died. Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett, Cleveland. Keep an eye on them, guys. Keep an eye on Cleveland. One of my members has sent me a code telling me that Cleveland are going to do well in the playoffs, so I'm going to look into it. I've told you, Myles Garrett and Kobe could easily be the same person. Easy. Spiritual wickedness, guys. You cannot be shocked by anything in this world anymore. All right? When you look at it logically and how the world should be, that's impossible. How would the media get away with it? All right? Very easily when spiritual wickedness is involved. That's why a team can come back from 19 points down and win by 6. Kobe died in the 42nd year of his life. On his 42nd birthday was the Champions League final, which Bayern won against Paris Saint-Germain. Bayern's the Bavarians, where the Illuminati were founded. Paris is where the Society of Jesus were founded. Now, the Society of Jesus have a big role in this, but again, it's because they just work for Satan. The Society of Judas is what I call them. That's all they are. They're not controlling the world. All right? Just study Ephesians to see who's behind the wickedness of the world. It said it's not flesh and blood. So why are you blaming secret societies, Zach Hubbard? Celtics lost the 2022 NBA Finals 4-2. 18 months and 12 days ago. Messi won the 2022 FIFA World Cup Final 4-2 on penalties in 2022 on 18-12. 20 plus 22 equals 42. One of Boston's best players is Al Horford. He wears number 42. So if they win the NBA Finals, imagine they win it 4-2. I bet he has a big NBA Finals, Al Horford. Pretty old now, is Al Horford. And by the way, Bill Russell was awarded a Medal of Honor by Obama, which is interesting. Al Horford, guys, is 37. 37 and still doing great. He's got a great three-point shot, but again, you see some of the players, their technique is so horrific, and they can still nail threes. I'll tell you the player for me. You might believe it's LeBron James. Some of you might think it's Michael Jordan, and again, there's opinion to all of this. But for me, the player where I can watch the game and go, this is not man. Anybody take a guess? Anybody in the chat? I'm going to read all your comments in a moment. Take a guess at the player that I watch and go, that is not man. Anybody can guess? Let's have a little game. I'm going to go for about another 10 minutes. What player do you think I watch in the modern game is still playing today where I go, I don't think that's man. I think there's spiritual wickedness there. Draymond Green, no. Yeah, NBA player. It's not Draymond Green. He's believable. He's just aggressive. He's great at rebounding. He's a good defender. He doesn't score many points. He's actually believable. Yeah, Agent D's nailed it. Agent D's nailed it. Steph Curry. Steph Curry is the one player. I used to always prop him. So again, one other reason why I stopped gambling is because you can't help but support him. Can somebody give me a woo if you understand what I'm saying here? So when I gambled a lot of money, I watched the games. I was actually excited because I had such confidence in my picks. So I would prop like Steph Curry 33 points from a code that I've done. So every time he knocked down a 3, yes, I did it. And towards the end of my gambling journey, I would do it and I would feel a sense of guilt. I'm like, wait, this is actually hypocritical. That's how I felt to myself, because we're all hypocrites, guys. We're all sinners. We're all hypocrites. All right. I'm very firm in my beliefs now. If people want to gamble, they can gamble. All right. They can do as they wish with the information that I reveal. All right. It might lead them to the Bible. It might lead them to debt. I don't know. All right. It might lead them to winning hundreds of thousands of dollars if they've got big money to bet. If they're betting 20 grand a pick, which some people do, then yeah. But for me, it's like I was watching the games. I was gambling on them. For me, $1,000, $2,000. And when Steph would knock down a 3, yes, get in there, Steph. Go on, Giannis. Boom. He would dunk. I'd go, boom. And I was like, oh, what are you doing, Adam? Wow, you're calling out these sports and you really are being a fanboy yourself and you're obsessing and it's become about money. But I didn't have God in my life then. But I was still starting to feel that, oh, geez, you're no different to what you were. You're still a fanboy. So now, if Steph knocks 35 points and I say he's gonna, I'm like, all right, the code hit. Hopefully a few people took it. Maybe they didn't. It is what it is. Whatever happens, I can at least expose it. A part of me was like, if the Pistons win, that might be an even better expose. Like, how do the Pistons beat the Celtics in Boston this season? That might be better for people to wake up. But I was like, I don't think they're going to wake up anyway, most people. So let's just hope the code hits. Let me just focus on my website. So that's something that took me off gambling as well, that you can't help but support and cheer on the people or the team. It's just, you'll know it yourself, guys. So anyway, with Steph Curry, you see him taking 3 and he's not looking. It's like there's a 7-foot defender on him and he's and then he takes a 3 like that. Or there's like 0.1 second left on the clock and he's from the mid-court and he takes the 3 and it goes in and he just goes. And it's like, what? I'll give you an example of it. Of some of these sports. You're like, you'll be in the NFL, right? And a team needs to get 1 yard to basically win the game. Say there's a minute left, all right, and they're up by 7. There's a minute left. They're up by 7. They need 1 yard, and then they get a fresh set of downs. They just run the clock down. They need 1 yard. And maybe they need 1 yard from 2 plays. And they can't get it. And then there's seconds left on the clock for the other team. And then they throw a 50-yard pass. And you're like, what? What's just happened? They only needed a yard. What? They had a 99.9% chance of winning. And now the ball is 2 yards away from the end zone and they've got one last play. It's like, what just happened? How did that team not get 1 yard? And it's why I tell people, just take your money. If your team is 80% or higher, cash out, just take it. Because these games, guys, it's spiritual wickedness. And that's another way you improve with all of this. Because when you look at it logically and from an athletic perspective, you go, there's no way, for example, that the Bulls are going to lose a 21-point lead against the Falcons. There's no way. Like, how can that happen? Josh Allen's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. It won't happen. The Bulls are a solid team. And then it's a 14-point lead. And then there's a turnover. Now it's 7 points. And you're like, what's going on? It's fine. They're not going to blow a 21-point lead. And it's like, no, it's a 4-point game. Oh, what? And there's still a quarter left? All right. Well, Bulls didn't score in that third quarter. They've got to score in the fourth. Now they're down. Now they're down by 3. And now the underdog. How did that's impossible? Well, the coach must have said something great. I guess maybe the Bulls just took their mind off the game. They got complacent. I don't know how any professional athlete can get complacent. Can somebody give me a woo? Stephanie Curry, yeah. I don't understand how a professional athlete, elite, we call them elite athletes, can get complacent. And people used to say to me, they're just human. No, we're told they're getting 100, 200 grand a week, some of these athletes. There's no way they can be getting complacent. Anybody agree with me there? It shouldn't be happening. We're told Neymar's been paid $42 million for every game he's played in Saudi Arabia. Do you believe that? It's a lie. It's a lie, guys. I'm going to read your comments and I've got to go. Buenas tardes, Sebastian. Yo, Rottweiler, God bless you. John Mayfield, love your videos. Good job breaking the codes down. I am very grateful. Thank you. Thank goodness it's Friday. It don't bother me. Just the way my schedule is. I pretty much work 7 days a week. Back in the day, I used to love it. You know what I mean? It's Friday and then Saturday and play football, go out. But for me, it doesn't bother me what day it is. Can't wait for you to talk about Rig Sports Coded. Love you, Professor Adam. Cheers, Tommy. Tommy's one of the guys who's given me his code about Cleveland. He's got a gifted mind and he's a nice guy. He shows a lot of respect. He doesn't have to call me Professor, but he does. He can call me Professor if he wants. God wins. That's the most important message. Happy birthday to Miles Garrett today, but you know you're Kobe Bryant. You just changed characters. Yeah, I've got 3 videos about that. Tommy, I know you've probably seen them all. Phoenix, before you call him an idiot, I will say this, bro. Watch my videos about Kobe and Miles Garrett. Just do me that favor, and then you can call him an idiot and call me one. But please watch the videos. You won't watch anything like it. That's all I'm going to say to you. Yeah, today's date's 12/29. 1,229 is the 201st prime number. We know that the World Trade Center went from 2 buildings to 0 to 1. We know Pope Francis resided in Suite 201 in the Vatican. Messi resided in Room 201 in Qatar. There's so many other 201s. Brady threw for 201 yards when he won his last Super Bowl. Event 201 foreshadowed coronavirus. There's so many 201s. And in numerology, that's 3, which is an incredibly powerful number and the number that connects most to Jesus, who resurrected on the 3rd day. It's funny how Michael Jordan retired 3 times. Just pure mockery of Christ, guys, which I'll break down later in the week with Michael Jordan. Also, today is the 1-year anniversary of Pele's death. I'm sure a lot of you are aware I predicted Pele's death in 2021, that he would die in 2022. Not that I'm proud of myself for predicting somebody's death, but it was just the code. I just revealed the code. It's not like I wanted him to die. I didn't kill the guy. But I was like, he's going to die before the end of 2022. And he died with 2 days left in that year. And I'm only saying that with a slight grin on my face is because if you guys could see my messages that I get, you said Pele, we're going to die in 2022, you clown. It's like, we're still in 2022. He can still die. Not that I want him to. Yeah, well, he's still there, isn't he? And I saw a photo of him smiling. I was like, that's what you're all saying about the Queen. She looks good. I remember my friend were like, she just got out of the car. Like, she pretty much sprinted. I think she's fine. Adam. I was like, all right, let's see. Made $80 today from 5. Congratulations. If you can turn $5 into 80, but just know you can quickly lose that $80. Be careful. What you should do there, who's Garth? If you bet $5, that I think that's great. That's smart. If you can turn it into 80, that sets you up now, doesn't it? All right, that sets you up. Just keep doing $5 bets. You might not really get far with it. It's not going to change your life. But now you've got a lot of possibilities to place these parlays. I don't promote parlay betting. I think it's dangerous. I think overall you will lose over the year by doing $5 parlays. But again, enjoy your $80. Do you think Pistons losing streak will end at 33? There's a possibility that they don't win again, but that's super unlikely. But I go game by game, Agent D. It's what I've done for the last 3 years. So I think the next game's against the Raptors. The spread is only +4. But my advice would be this. Just take the Pistons to lose till they win. And like I said, maybe tomorrow they win. Then okay, now you have to rethink everything. But I think they lose the next game. They're 2-30. That's that 23. Michael Jordan number, LeBron number. But I go a game at a time. So is it going to be 33? How does that relate to them? I don't know. Professor Adam is the best in the world when it comes to coding sports, and I'm not just talking out of my ass. I think that's an opinion. I'm really grateful. I have strong belief in my ability to code. I'm consistent. I code everything. I have said before I'm the best in the world. Looking back, that's that arrogant, egotistical talk. I don't claim to be the best in the world anymore. Don't really care if I am. I'll never know it. It's all opinion. I enjoy what I do. I have a gift for what I do. I have people who enjoy my gift. I'm grateful for the gift that God's given me. Whether I'm the best or not, it literally is up for debate. And I'm sure there's people coding who are incredible that don't even have a platform. You know what I mean? They might not have a YouTube channel, a website, a Patreon, and they're unbelievable at it. But they just go about doing it themselves. I've told you I was this close to just doing it all by myself. I was just going to give up Patreon and just focus on myself. I was going to do that a few times. I was like, I don't need the stress of giving people picks. My picks hit. I'll just bet myself without that stress. And I said, if I lose the money somehow, I'll just go back to teaching. Adam could be a millionaire from gambling, but he's not. He stopped gambling, but he still helps us win money. Yeah, I won tens of thousands of dollars in 9 months. I made more money gambling than I did as a teacher. But to me, the code's bigger than money. But I still make money from my website, but my website's not just about giving out sports picks. If you're there, you'll know that. People say they turn the magnets off. I don't think it is that. So double coded that even teams that won't make the playoffs have riddles. Yeah, exactly, Agent D. Every game is double coded. And then people say, well, what's the point? No, that's the whole point of it. You have to dissect the code. You should see the code for the Celtics and the Raptors today. Unbelievable numbers for both, like incredible numbers for the both. So you're pretty much like, all right, should I take Boston money line? Should I go with the Raptors, the spread? Which one shall I do? Sometimes I'll give you that. Say, listen, these numbers are phenomenal here. Do as you wish. This player has a good possibility for a big game. Like Giannis has great numbers for having a big game today. And you might say, well, Giannis is always having great games. But I'll give you an example. It's like the Bucks can become 24-8 with a win. Kobe's jersey numbers. Kobe Bryant Day is 24-8. Matthew 24-8 is about war. But they can drop to 23-9. Now, Brady's NFL debut was 23-9. And he retired with the Bucks. And I've shown you how Brady connects to the Bucks. The Bucks won the NBA Finals the day that Brady went to the White House with the Bucks. So it's like, 23-9. That's the date that Pope Francis went to the White House. That's the 52nd prime, Kobe 5-2 in NBA Finals, or the 24-8. Now, that's tough. Now, the Bucks are favored to win this, but this is against Cleveland, who are a decent team, who have 13 losses and 18 wins, Revelation 13-18. Which is interesting because LeBron connects to Cleveland and he is Mr. Revelation. So is Kobe, to be fair. And Cavaliers can become 10-7 at home, and that's when Israel was attacked, but they can drop to 9-8, which is the date the Queen died. The Bucks can become 7-7 on the road with a loss. Flight 77 involved 9/11. And then today's date is 12/29, the 201st prime, and the World Trade Center went from 2 buildings to 0 to 1. And it's like, but then the Bucks can get their 24th win, an 8th road win. That's another double 24-8. And they can stay on 8 conference losses, but they can also drop to 19-9 in the conference, which is the Queen's funeral date. 199 is also when Brady was drafted, 199th pick. So what would I do there? See how my mind's working right now on all of that, just like that. You might say, geez, well, who's going to win then? That's like unbelievable finds, but who's going to win? Sometimes it's like, well, Giannis connects to Brady and to Kobe, so maybe just play a prop Giannis. Maybe do that. Or, all right, maybe I'll take Cleveland +7 because they both have exceptional riddles. I'm not convinced Cleveland are going to win because of the 24-8s for the Bucks. But is the 24-8 too blatant? Well, maybe not, because the Bucks are 23-8, which is Kobe Bryant's birthday. I remember coding them. But then they beat the Nets. I was like, well, Nets have some numbers. Maybe they'll cover the spread. As far as I'm aware, they didn't, and the Bucks blew them out. But I just was like, 23-8, okay. Giannis, Kobe's daughter was Gianna. Giannis was born 12-6. Kobe and Giannis died on 1-2-6. So if I give you all of those numbers, what would you do with them? That's on you then. And it's not me covering my back. So then I'd look at the score. I'll see the score at halftime and go, right, all those numbers are Brady. All the numbers are Brady. Right, I think Cleveland win. All the numbers are Kobe. I think the Bucks win. Because I know the difference. I've written a book about Kobe. I'm 70% of the way through my Brady book. But you see how tough that is? And that happens so often. And for me, doing what I do, yeah, exactly. Kobe, Brady, Messi, the 3 Bafo GOATs. Remember when Messi won the World Cup, he was with Paris Saint-Germain, who was sponsored by Jordan. Michael Jordan's the GOAT, Messi's the GOAT. It's all connected, guys. It's quite miraculous. Well, I don't like using the word miraculous. It's mind-blowing, I think is a very fair term. Celtics lose to advance to 13-18. Where do you get that from? You mean the Raptors advance to 13-18? I'm going to do this. Alan Ramirez, give me a woo. I'm going to break down the Boston Raptors game, and all of you in the chat, tell me who you think is going to win. Give me 5 woos. Hit the like button, guys. If you haven't hit the like button, I've just realized I've been here an hour and 8 minutes. I only wanted to do 40 minutes. Ping that like button. Give me some woos, and I'll tell you what I see in Boston and the Raptors. And I want you guys, whether you bet or not, just to say, I think this team's going to win. Don't worry about being right or wrong. Nobody's going to read the chat. All right? Just, I'm going to give you the finds and tell me, you got 3 options here. I'll give you 3 options. Just say Boston, Toronto, or Toronto spread. All right, which means that they start with X amount of points. Now, when it comes to the spread, guys, that's completely up to you. I would never take the spread that the bookies offer. So if it's giving you +6, I would take +9. That's how I operated. That's how I won. All right. Of course, there's the risk of the blowout, but if it's a blowout, it's a blowout. You take it. You know what I mean? But for example, if it's +6 and the team loses by 7, it happens so often. And I figured that out very, very early. I was like, I'm going to get those extra points. And yes, it's playing safe. Why? Because I know how the devil works. All right? And I know that greed is one of the 7 deadly sins. If you know this with me, guys, throughout this journey, I don't think I've been greedy. And I'll give you some examples as to why, with the gambling element. I wasn't ever looking for big pre-game underdogs. It's not what I ever did. I wasn't looking for, I want that plus 600, even with my gift. I'm like, let's just be real. 75% of the time, the big favorite's going to win. All right. Now, occasionally I might find a dog, but for me, if I ever found a riddle for an underdog which just screamed, wow, I still didn't take the money line. I would take them plus 10. I was like, if they win, I'm not going to be. I was never the guy who was like, I should have taken a money line. I was like, all right, good. I won. So I'd rather take them plus 10 at even money than go in on them at plus 600 where they might lose by a point, and then I'm furious I didn't take them plus 10. So I was never greedy with it. When my teams were up, I would cash. If they offered me 80%, I always cashed out. If my team went 2-0 up at football, I'd take the money. Or I'd go, all right, let me look at both teams to score, because I might win and win the both teams to score. Let me figure it out. What score is this game going to finish? I know, I'll just leave it. I'm taking it. I don't care now. I'm taking the 86% cash out. And then what would happen sometimes? I'd take it. That team would draw 2-2. Get in there. I was like happy and angry at the same time. I was like, okay, good. What a cash out. I'm a genius, but I posted that team to win on my Patreon, and I don't think other people are as smart as me. And now maybe they've just lost and they're going to go at me. So I always emphasize cash out. Don't be one of those people that your team goes up by 2 points in the NBA and you're cashing out for a loss. No, don't do it. I'm talking about when it's literally offering you the full payout as close as you can. Don't get greedy with it. So here, I'm going to read the fines. This is so tough, is what I'm going to say. When I did this code, the Raptors were plus 12.5. They're now plus 5.5. So I think Jaylen Brown is going to be out again. Jaylen Brown was out yesterday for the Celtics, the day the Browns beat the Jets. The Jets are now 9-11 on the road in Cleveland. Crazy. That was, Savvy said that. He said, all I need to know is that the Jets are going to drop to 9-11 on the road against Cleveland. That's all he needed. Sometimes in this coding, you need that. You need one thing, you're like, that's it. Like the Bucks, they're going 23-8, done. And it just stands out. Other times, you have to really dissect it. Anyway, this is the Boston code. Boston can become 25-6 with a win. 256, which is 16 times 16. And they can get their 16th home win. Now, Brady was drafted by Boston franchise New England Patriots, and he played his last ever game in the NFL on the 16th day of this year. 16, the square root is 4. 4 times 4. Boston can stay on 4 conference losses. Brady was drafted by New England Patriots on 16-4. On Belichick's birthday, the Patriots head coach. Boston can get their 73rd win versus the Raptors. Brady retired 7-3 in Super Bowls. Queen Elizabeth II was married for 73 years. We know the UK and the Queen connect to 4. The dialing code's plus 44. The United Kingdom is 4 nations. Elizabeth had 4 children. Her jubilee was 4 days. So that's good for Boston. Boston can become 21-4 in the conference with a win. The Queen was born on 21-4. And today is Albert Pike's 214th birthday. And Boston won overtime yesterday against the Pistons, 2014, which is a sneaky 2-1-4. And Revelation 21-4 is one of my favorite verses. Give me an amen if this verse hits you. Revelation 21-4. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. This is referring to heaven. where there's going to be no pain, no crying, no sorrow. All those things will pass away after the second coming of Jesus Christ and after Judgment Day. So Revelation 21:4 is beautiful, but it so happens to be the Queen's birthday as well. Boston are looking for their 18th NBA championship, and they can become 18-18 all time on 12-29 with a win. Raptors drop to 2-11 on 12-29 as Boston get their 42nd home win versus the Raptors, and the teams last met 42 days ago. 2-11 is the 42nd day of the year, and it's the date of the upcoming Super Bowl. 42 days is 6 weeks, and Boston can stay on 6 season losses. Now, if I just post Boston there, you're going in heavy on Boston because of how good that code is. You're going, there's no way Boston can lose. That code is just, wow. Now listen to the Raptors code. So that's Boston. This is Toronto's code, which I think might be too blatant, but if it wins, I will still do a video. Again, just to let you know this ain't about me. If the Raptors win this game, I will show you the numbers why. I'm not going to say I called the Raptors. If you watch, I will never do that. I'm not going to say, hey guys, called the Raptors to shock Boston. That's not how I approach it. I go, here's why the Raptors beat Boston. And you said Boston would win. It's like, slow down. This ain't about me. I'm revealing the code. I was fully aware of the Raptors numbers, and I'm going to show you it now. If you ask me right now, who do I think is going to win? All right, and you had to ask me that. I say, I think Boston. But I would not be shocked if the Raptors win. Listen to this code. But I think Boston. If I had to bet, somebody went, here's $1,000. What are you going to go for? Raptors or Boston? Oh, tough. I think Boston are going to sneak it. But I'm not convinced. I will not be shocked. But if it's a free bet, I'll take Boston. Thank you. Raptors can become 13-18 with a win. Now, Revelation 13, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 scoring 6. 666. Now, Kobe's 666 game and highest scoring game was versus the Raptors. Interesting. We know how Kobe connects to Boston, how he connects to Tatum. That's big. 13-18 is all about 666. Kobe's 666 game was against the Raptors. 666 is the 36 triangular number. Boston can drop to 15-1 at home. 151, the 36 prime. We know Boston connect to Argentina now. Argentina won the World Cup. First time in 36 years. Maradona died. 36 days left in the year. He died on 11-25. 11 plus 25 is 36. Argentina have won 3 out of 6 World Cup finals. This is getting interesting. They came into the World Cup 36 games undefeated. The Pope's Argentinian. They won the final a day after his birthday. He was born in 36. Okay, that 36 benefits Toronto. Toronto equals 36 in 2 ciphers. Also, the 36 goes against Boston. I like that. Is it too good to be true? Maybe. Boston dropped to 24-7 for the season. USA and the Illuminati were founded 247 years ago. 24/7 connects to time. 24 plus 7 is 31. Revelation 13-18. You add up those numbers, it's 31. Tatum scored 31 points yesterday. 31's the 11th prime. Bill Russell's won 11 NBA championships with Boston. This is interesting. Now 247 is the 13th pentagonal number. The Raptors can get their 13th season win. Gianna Bryant died at age 13 with a 41-year-old father, Kobe, the 13th prime. 13 is the 7th Fibonacci number. Celtics can get their 7th season loss. Raptors can get their 179th win in December, the 41st prime, whilst Boston stay on 40 wins at home versus the Raptors, and Kobe died at age 41. Now I look at that. I believe, listen to me, because this is why I disagree with Decoding Oz. He said the best code always wins. I don't agree. I don't believe that the best code always wins. I don't. I believe that the better code for me to present to the world is Toronto's. I have seen that 13-18 misses so often in all sports. Recently in the Premier League, when a team could have got their 13th league win in the 18th game, it didn't happen once. Whether it was Arsenal or Liverpool, it didn't happen. So I look at those, I'm like, okay, there's loads for the Raptors. And at this point, they were plus 12.5. That would have been worth a shout. And if they go up, then you can maybe cover Boston to come back. Now, the Celtics might just blow them out. But they just scraped past Detroit. I didn't see many numbers for Tatum. I don't see any reason to force a prop. I think Porzingis will go big because either way, this connects to Messi, who just won his 8th Ballon d'Or. He wears number 8. Porzingis probably goes big again. But I haven't gone deep with him. So I do these codes. Sometimes it's like that. It's like, oh, man, like maybe I'll just stay off it. Maybe you should. Maybe you should stay off it. Maybe you love the Boston code. But when I present these finds, if you go all in on Boston and Toronto win, you can't be shocked. Now, if you go on Toronto and Boston blow them out, you also can't be shocked. So you might look at me and go, why did you even post that? I just love the code. I got led to that game. I want to keep an eye on Boston because it's looking like they might win the NBA. I want to stay on top of their games like I stay on top of the 49ers games. All right. So at some point, it's like at some point Boston have got to lose at home. They've won 15 out of 15. But are they going to win 16 out of 16 and go 25-6? And 16 times 16 is 256. That is clean. And I know not many people in the world know that 256 square root is 16. They might know that the square root of 16 is 4. I'm sure they'll know that, 4 times 4, but very tough. So let me see what you've got, guys, just out of interest. What do you reckon? Just put it in the chat, guys. 238 days, Kobe's birthday. That's really interesting. Is that a span of 239, Justin? Because that might be a sign for the Bucks to lose and drop to 23-9. Is that a span? Yeah, it is. But, wow, look at that. Justin, did you know this? Another reason why I like Justin's a brilliant code. If this is Justin on my website, give me a woo, Justin. I'm grateful for you, and you're always very positive to me. And you take your own picks. You're like, Illusion, love your code. I'm going against you, but thanks for everything. I think you went with the Pistons, didn't you? And I like that. I like that people can see my code and not just follow me blindly and say, that's going to win. Just so you all know, oh, it's not the same Justin. All right, well, God bless you anyway. God bless the other Justin. Just so you know, I know this off the top of my head because of my Kobe book. 238 days, guys, is exactly 34 weeks. Now, I know you're going to know the answer. I've just given it away. Somebody in the chat, tell me Giannis's jersey number. Sometimes it's just better to do a prop sometimes, but there's always risk to player props. They can get injured. They can get fouled out. They can also, a team like the Bucks, they can be killing a team by 20 and then they rest Giannis and Middleton or Lillard. And because a team like the Bucks, they have so much firepower, they have so many players that score points. Lillard, Middleton, Giannis. There's many other players that they have on the team. It's like maybe Giannis won't always score 30 points. He doesn't always need to because Lillard can get 40 points at any given night. Middleton can go 30 points. Do you know what I mean? They're a dangerous team to prop. People say it to me like, Giannis, of course he's going to dominate. It's like, it's different now they have Lillard. Because Lillard's averaging 28 points. But for me, like, the numbers today tell me Giannis goes big. Yeah, it's the 9th Fibonacci number, which is also another sign why the Bucks can get their 9th loss and become 23-9. 23 is the 9th prime. Right now, I'm sitting on Cleveland +7, but that's just right. That's now. Like, I've not gone super deep. The code I gave you for the Bucks and the Cavs was there and then. I did it. You saw me do it in 2 minutes. I haven't looked at the head-to-head records, the coaches' records. Okay, I don't know when they last played each other. I haven't done the birthday spans of the coaches and the top stars. But just from looking at it, it's like, I don't know the odds. I'm pretty certain that Milwaukee will be favored. I don't know if they're big favorites. I don't think they will be away at Cleveland. Before I go, I'll just check the odds. Just out of interest. The Brooklyn Nets game against the Wizards, all about 9/11. We know that 9/11 involved Washington and New York. It also revolves around Michael Jordan, who was born in Brooklyn, and he played for the Wizards. Now, that is a pretty dangerous game. I posted my code for that. I'm not super convinced. If you're watching on my website, guys, I'm not super convinced with that code that I did. But it should still be enough. I would be careful going in play on that game. I just really wanted to show how it was about 9/11. That's why it's on 12/29, 201st prime. World Trade Center went from 2 buildings to 0 to 1. The Pentagon was in Washington. Obviously, the World Trade Center was in New York. And now you've got the New York-based Brooklyn Nets playing Washington Wizards. And they're also playing each other on the anniversary of Pele's death. Pele played his last ever game in New York because he plays for New York Cosmos. The Bucks are -200. Cleveland are +4.5. They're +162. Cleveland could pull off a shock with these odds. Boston are -225. Raptors are +185. There's not much there, honestly. You might say, well, there is. It's like, if Raptors take a 6-point lead, Raptors will become +130, like that. These odds fluctuate, man. I learned that. Can't believe that Celtics went from -2,500, which meant that they had a 96% chance of winning, to becoming +150 an hour later. +150 is nice value, guys. It's pretty much what Cleveland are to beat the Bucks. Nuggets Thunder game, that looks tough. Looking at the odds, the Suns should beat the Hornets. But again, I've seen +800 teams win every now and again. With those games, you just got to find an amazing code for the Suns, hope they go down, take them in play. You don't want to take them at -1,400. There's no point trying to teach people that. Somebody posted an amazing code for the Grizzlies to shock the Clippers. Like the Pistons tomorrow, they're +150 to beat the Raptors. It's so strange. The odds are so strange. They don't always tell you who's going to win, but it's like Raptors are +185 to beat Boston away, and the Pistons are +150 to beat the Raptors. It's like, how? How? That's just strange to me. But like I said, the odds are not the be-all, end-all. You have to factor them in. The 76ers, Rockets, same odds. Those games are really hard to code. When they're the identical odds, the Kings and the Hawks, they're plus even money. They're both -110. And I know if I code that game, I'm pretty much wasting my time. I've learned that because I'm going to find exceptional numbers for both and nothing's going to stand out. Wow, Boston, I've gone to -188. So people, when that happens, guys, just so you know, again, I don't know if it's a fact, but when a team's odds keep dropping, it's because people are betting on the other team. So that tells me people are going in on Toronto. Maybe after my stream. But that code for Boston's so strong as well, man. Like, I hope people took the Raptors +12.5 last night. But again, Boston could win by 16. I've noticed I do this right before I go. Last comment. The amount of times that a big underdog takes a massive lead in the first quarter and then still gets blown out is unbelievable. The other day, the Pistons were beating the Nets by 17 points in the first quarter, and they lost by 6. So that's when you look at the odds. It's like this team's 17 down, but it's the first quarter. I think the Nets were they were only plus 170 to come back and win. 17 points down. And it's not like the Nets are amazing. The Celtics are. The Nets are average. I was like, okay, Nets are going to win that. And I had them to win it. I've said for ages, bet against the Pistons every game until they lose. And I said that about... Recently, I said they're going to, for sure, lose the next 4 games, and they lost 4 in a row. And 2 of them, you got plus money on the other teams in play. You're never going to get plus money pre-game against the Pistons. Even if the Spurs or the Blazers are playing them. You won't get it. But you can get it in play, guys. All right. I just wanted to show you that. I wanted to explain why I do what I do. It's not just about sports. It's not just about making money. Somebody said you do it because you love being famous. I'm not famous. I have a small following. I'm not famous. I can go walk the streets where I live. I'm more famous for being a football coach than I am for being a sports decoder. All right. I do it. I enjoy it. I have a gift for it. I've got a great community. People join me. People leave me. It's part of the show. All right. I've seen that in my life. I've had friends who are no longer my friends, and then they've become my friends again. It's all part of this world that we live in, guys. You can't become too attached to anything, but it doesn't mean you have to detach yourself from everything. All right. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned a few things here. You see how my brain operates with the codes. Number 34 for the Browns scored first yesterday. Crazy, great find. I didn't pay attention to that game. All I know is the Browns won, and we like the Browns. I didn't post it. They won by 17, yeah? I know the Browns are 11-5. 11's the 5th prime number. That's a big connect. And I saw that Joe Flacco was 19 from 29, and 1929 is when the Great Recession began, which is not good. I'll tell you that as well, guys. At the end of games, look at the pass completion of the quarterbacks and do it at halftime as well. So see how many passes they've attempted and their completion. And it can reveal where the game's going as well. Giannis opening the gates, New Year's Eve, crazy name connections. Giannis Lillard sounds like Lilith. That's very true. Spolstra was on 57 DOA and picked up 723 wins, all synced to that Browns game. Yeah, a lot of people like the Heat on my website. I've told you, Steph Curry is done now. The Warriors are done. They ain't going to do anything. While Steph's still there, he's had his moment. He's still going to knock his silly threes down, like I said. He's going to do that and chew on his little mouth guard that he has. And again, he's old now, and he's still, the way he moves, guys, the way him and LeBron move when they've been in the NBA pretty much 20 years, it's not human. It isn't human. And you all know it, I think, at this point. The way Steph Curry moves around the court. Remember, Steph and LeBron, they pretty much go deep in the playoffs all the time. I think for 10 years straight, one of them were in the NBA Finals. And to still be doing what they're doing, I'm not having that. It's organic, and they just train better than all the other players, or they have more talent than the other ones. And the amount of times Steph is open for an open three when he's the best three-point shooter in the history of the game, I can never comprehend that. But again, he could have two 7-footers on him like that, and he'll find a way of hitting the three over 2 7-footers. And then he'll fall on the floor. All right, it goes in, and he like, how did you do that, man? It's just, I'm not having that as being organic, and I'm not jealous of him. I never wanted to be a basketball player. I like the game. We don't play it in England. I ain't the tallest, although I'm not short. I'm 5'11". I'm taller than most people. I'm not jealous of Steph Curry. If you ever watch him, guys, same with Lillard. If you watch Lillard's 3-point shot, it don't look right. All right, it looks like a video game. Steph Curry, his dad played in the NBA. His brother Seth plays in the NBA. 75% of players that played in the NBA had an affiliation with the NBA before they became a player. It is a fraternity. It is. And I've said this, I bet there's players in the street courts of Brooklyn, who have more talent than a lot of the players in the NBA. They just don't have the spiritual wickedness. But they'll have more actual God-given talent. God-given, not satanically given, not black magic given, God-given talent. Like I have as much God-given talent at football than most professional footballers. If you ever watch me play. God-given talent. I don't need to sell my soul to be able to do it in front of thousands of people. Some very average, Matt Letizia said it himself, there's some very average players that make it to the Premier League that shouldn't be there. At least he was open about it. Yeah, a lot of the coaches are ex-players. And they just move around, don't they? They just move from club to club. It's like, for example, Frank Vogel went from the Lakers, he's now at the Suns. There's about 20 of them. Popovich has stayed at the Spurs forever and a day. Spoelstra's been at Heat forever and a day. But more often than not, yeah, they have a group of coaches, very similar to the Premier League. They just go from one club to the next, and something very off about it, guys. So Michael thinks Boston wins. Good luck if you take them. I think the Raptors code is better, but I think it's too blatant. I would rather present the Raptors code as a YouTube video than Boston. One, because they're the underdog, and it's a better code. But I think Boston are going to sneak it. But I would never bet on this game. Back in the day when I bet, I wouldn't touch the game. For me, personally. I think you're playing with fire. But if you have that conviction that it's Boston, good luck. Honestly. Many times I've seen dark shadows zip by in the NBA. Just watch Space Jam, brother, and see how the players were possessed by those demons in the movie Space Jam with Michael Jordan. Go rewatch that movie with different eyes. Cleveland Cavaliers equals 69, 347, the 69th prime. That's nice. Celtics are 4,001 wins all time, including playoffs. Raptors can pick up 43rd win, 14th prime. Yeah, nice, Timothy. I know Tatum played 43 minutes last night. It's a toughie. It's a toughie, guys. I think the NBA is pretty tough today. But whatever it is you do, good luck. Most of you tomorrow will go back in and do it all again, whether you win or lose anyway. Just don't get wrapped up in it. Don't get carried away when you win. Don't ever use the word lock, because you deserve to lose if you use the word lock. Don't think you've mastered the code. I've been that person before where I felt like I've cracked the code. I've gone like 18 games in a row correct. And then you get one wrong and it's like, oh, I've just got another one wrong. Now I'm 18 out of 20. I'm losing my confidence. Now I'm right again. You'll never completely crack the code. You've got to be okay with that. You've got to know you won't win every night. There'll be days where you lose money. There'll be days where you win a lot of money. All right? I'll have days where I have 7 new members. I'll have days where 4 members leave me. I don't get wrapped up in it. I'll have days where 15 people will buy my books. I can go 5 days where nobody buys a book. Just got to roll with the punches, guys, and enjoy the adversity at times. Like when I go 5 days and don't sell a book, when somebody goes, hey, 5 days later, I'd love to buy 2 of your books. It just feels better. If everybody was buying a book every day, you don't have that moment to appreciate it. Same with when you're winning money every day. You stop appreciating it. I got to that point when I was winning all that money. It just became, okay, I've won again. I didn't have that same buzz. And it wasn't until I then lost one where I was like, I felt that emotion again. Well, I want to win again. And then I got the buzz back when I would win the money back or more. But when I kept winning, the buzz went for me. It just went. And when I miss a sports code, I then end up coding something completely different to sports and I end up doing the code of my life, which is not about winning people money. So I don't know, that fire in me, it's like, somebody's going to call out my code for being wrong. I'm going to put out a code where they can't say a word about it. So I have that mindset. The books are great for anyone who hasn't bought them. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, you got Billups, Ham, Lou. The family of Lou, that's something a bit off about that family. The Ball family, you know the Balls? There's something deeply satanic about that. Lonzo, Lamar, Ball, basketball, Ball. Their dad is so egotistical. The dad said, I think, Lonzo Ball, when he was 17, was better than Steph Curry. He flat out said, my son's better than Steph Curry. Now, poor kid. You're going into the NBA, you're very talented at college, you clearly have a gift for whatever reason, whether it's spiritual wickedness or you just have a gift. And your dad is going all over the media saying that you're better than Steph. So what happened? He got bullied in the NBA for the first couple of seasons. You really think you're better than Steph? You think that you can walk into this league and dominate? So they bullied him. But again, that's that delusion that people have. There's confidence and then there's being delusional. I have incredible confidence. I don't believe I'm delusional. I think I sometimes get carried away with myself, but I don't think I'm delusional. Adam's website has his books. Well, they have two. They have the Kobe book and the Queen book, but both of those books have been majorly updated now. Like I've got twice as much content in the updated versions. I'm not even sure. You could read those two, but I've got 8 books. I have 8. Half of them are about the Bible and biblical scripture and where the world is right now. The other half are about our coded reality involved in sports, royal family, Trump. I think my Trump book is one you have to read because if he does become the president, you're going to see exactly why. And I think we're going to see war. And then he's going to put an end to war. And he's going to be the savior that we desperately need. If you read my book, you're going to see you don't want to trust him. What's the website? It's, let me find the link. And like I said, just to let you all know, my website is not about just winning your money. It's deeper than that. For 30 cents a day, I put so much work into this website, as do other people who are on it. So there's a lot of members there, not like I'm super popular, but there's enough minds there where you can learn from each other. So I did a post today about Prince, about Bin Laden, I've coded the Nets game, the Boston game. I did a code about the Matrix. So it's not just Satanism. Yesterday, Hollywood A-listers, what's that? Celebrity superstars, witchcraft and Satanism. Like, I don't just code sports, but I do code pretty much all sports. I made this 49ers find. If you like the NFL, you can read that. And then you just do as you wish. There's an agenda like today was supposed to be the Turkish Super Cup, Galatasaray against Fenerbahce, and they were going to be playing it in Saudi Arabia, but they postponed it. And it was all down to politics. And if you look, Turkey connects to Ezekiel 38, which is what's going on with Israel. So I'll share things like that. Of course, I can't give you a pick because it got postponed, but I'll show you why the game was postponed, why it was in Saudi Arabia, why it was in Riyadh, why Riyad Mahrez is in Saudi Arabia. All right? How Saudi Arabia are now becoming close with Turkey. which connects to the peace treaty, which connects to the Abraham Accords, which connects to Ezekiel, which connects to the return of Jesus Christ. So I just do all of that, and I enjoy it. Adam, you beat me to your webpage. And if you want my books, all you do, guys, you email me. You say, hey, I'm interested in one of your books, or all of your books, or two of your books, and I send you them. And if you guys do what you want with the books, print them off, highlight them, make notes, add to them, do as you wish with the books. A lot of people print them off. I didn't write the books to be famous. I don't have a book deal. You won't find my books in a bookstore. I didn't put them online through Amazon. I just did it myself. I was like, I have a decent enough following. Those who like my work, they're going to want to read my books. And they're well worth every penny for what you get in the world now for $10. You don't get a lot, do you? For $10 in the world. And that's just the reality. It's book or books. You can read over and over. I've read my books so many times. But if you are a coder, and you want to be serious about coding, they're must-haves. If you're just interested in the code, I don't think they're must-haves. But if you want to code, I'm basically giving you all the tools. I believe my books give you the ingredients to cook. I really do. I think I'm giving you so much within the books to show you how I do what I do. And then you might have a different method or add to what I do or become better than me. And I'm all about that. I'll take that. Good for you. So seriously, folks, Adam's work is enlightening to your life and soul, in my opinion. Thank you. Adam's books are all listed right on his YouTube page. Yeah, guys, in the description, it has all the books. I think the Trump book is the one that you need right now, because you'll be able to read my book and you'll see exactly where this is going with Trump. So anytime you see a headline, you go, okay, Illusion said that we're going to come. And I think what they're going to start doing with Trump now, they're going to start saying he doesn't have a chance. I think they're going to write him off soon and be like, no, Trump ain't coming back. And then people will be like, I told you, Illusion, Trump ain't coming back. Like they told me years ago when I was talking about him. There's no chance he's coming back for a second term. He's not even going to run. I was like, I think he will. And you'll see why Euro 2024 begins on his birthday in Germany, which is the nation you think of when you think of war. It begins on his birthday. Just like the World Cup in Russia began on his birthday. And Trump has come out and said only he can prevent World War III. And obviously, the World Cup was in Russia in 2018. He has a relationship with Putin. I have a very good relationship with Putin. All right? And it's like, interesting. So, yeah, the Euros begins exactly 6 years after the World Cup began in 2018 in Russia. Remember, World War I began because a Serbian killed Franz Ferdinand. All right? Serbia was originally part of Russia. Pretty wild. It's mental. 2024 Copa America is in the US. Yeah, I will code that. I'll definitely code that. And I'm not going to tell you who I like right now because I haven't gone deep enough into it. You're legendary, brother. I appreciate all of you guys. I'm not a legend. I think I'm very gifted at what I do. Like, what is a legend? Like, I'm very gifted at what I do. And so are most of you. Some of you, the fact, if you know things like, I can't remember what his name is, sorry. If you know your primes and triangle numbers and Fibonacci numbers, then that's just so impressive. Not many people do. Okay? Not many people know that. Like if I was to say, for example, 367 is the 73rd prime number, 73 is the 21st prime number, 21 is the 6th prime, the 6th trie. Like how do you know that? I don't know. So We all have knowledge. Most of you in the chat, you have a lot of knowledge. And then it's just what you do with it. There'll be people who have unbelievable gifts with this, but they don't have the motivation, the passion, the discipline to want to set up a website, because it takes a lot of time to gain an audience. A lot of people have a gifted mind. They can't talk like me. They don't want to be in front of a screen. So there's levels to it. There'll be people in this chat that might be better than me. They might be better than me, but they just want a low profile. You know what I mean? And then there's others that are on my website that still don't understand any of it, but they enjoy it. Like, I still don't get this code, but it's interesting, but I don't get it. They might never get it. My girlfriend, she says, I think you're incredible. It's interesting, but I don't understand it. I'm not very good with numbers. I don't really know what you're saying, but I also do at the same time. She goes, whoa. When I show her code, she goes, whoa. And then that's all she needs to say. She don't quite understand it. Now, I always use the term about football. I said, if you're speaking to a person about football who's never played the game, never watched it, doesn't know any of the footballers, and you go into how amazing the game of football is, and did you watch that game between Chelsea and Man United? Did you see that finish from Garnacho? Unbelievable. It's like, who's Man United? I don't know anything about football. What do you mean you don't know anything about football? Man United are one of the biggest clubs in the history of the game. All right? Fergie won 13 Premier League. Who's Fergie? What's the Premier League? Oh, my word, you don't have a clue. No, I don't. And you've got to realize that with this code, guys, you might be so passionate about it and be incredibly gifted at it, and you're telling the world about it. Like, I don't know what you're on about. Don't have a go at them. Don't make them feel dumb, because I've been guilty of that. They just don't get it. Now, think about this. Somebody's giving a speech in a foreign language. It's incredible. Standing ovation from everybody. You don't speak that language. And you're getting frustrated. And people go, how was the speech? It was amazing. Yeah, right? It was incredible, that speech. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't understand any of it. Now, if the guy who gave the speech comes up to that person and shouts, that's not going to let the person understand it. They're still speaking a language they don't understand. So you can scream from the rooftops about how amazing the code is and how you know the Fibonacci sequence. It don't mean they're going to get it. So I'm very grateful to all of you and people on my website, because you do get it. So I can come here and you guys can leave your incredible finds. Yeah, today's the 361st day of the year. That's 19 times 19. 19 is the 8th prime. That's why I think the books are going to get their 8th loss. And maybe number 8, Porzingis, goes big. It's like, yeah, I like that. Brilliant. Now go tell that to your best friend who doesn't know shit about numbers. He's going to go, what are you on about? I think that team's going to win. Bucks will win because they're better. Don't get angry with them. Just kind of grin and laugh it off and go, fair enough. Maybe you're both right. But don't make it a competition. All right? We have different gifts, guys. One of mine is this code. But it's not who I am, like people say. All you are is the guy who does numbers and predicts sports and leads people to gambling, which is sin. And I've told you, nowhere in the Bible is gambling a sin. Please read the Bible when you start quoting it, or at least calling me out. Please read it, because there's no scripture that says gambling is a sin in the Bible. Now, yes, you have casinos. They have sin in the middle. Yes, it's very dangerous. You're playing with fire. If you become consumed, it can ruin a person. But it's not a sin. Just like having a nice cold Corona is not a sin. So thanks for watching, all of you. God bless. I am well rested. I took a nap today. Life is a roll of the dice in practically everything. Everything is a gamble, guys. You might leave your job because you think you're going to get a better one. That's a gamble. What's the difference? You want to go to a better job. You want to get more money. You're taking a gamble on yourself. It might pay off. It might not. You might go back. Maybe you won't go back because you've got too much pride. I left and now I'm going to go back. Swallow your pride. You took a chance. Ask the girl out. Hey, I'm attracted to you. Can I take you for dinner? She might say no. Fair enough. Now you know. She might say yes. She might marry you, have 2 kids. Greatest thing you've ever done. It's a gamble. Life is a gamble. Go to my website. All right. I'm going to take a chance on Illusion. He seems interesting. All right. Wow, he's great. I'm going to stay another month. Don't really like him as much as I thought I did. I'm going to cancel. See you later, mate. Good luck. God bless. If you come back, I'm not going to say I told you so. And if you never come back, good luck to you. All right. I ain't going to judge you. Thanks for the support that you originally gave me. Life is a gamble. That expression is true. I've gambled on my faith. All right. If I knew the Bible was a fact, there would be no faith involved. All right. If I knew for a fact that Jesus Christ existed and sacrificed himself for all of our sins, there's no faith. That is knowing. I don't need to go through my life with proof and evidence. I don't need to show everybody in the world that pro sports are coded by being 100% every month because I'm not perfect. Now, I'll make you think. I will tell all of you that. If you follow my work, I'll make you think. All right? But I'm not here to completely transform how you see the world. I'm not that powerful. I ain't that smart. But I'll make you think. I'll make every single person think if they give me the opportunity to express myself. Most people don't even give me the chance. Take care. Thank you for watching. God bless each and every one of you. All right? Life's a gamble. Some do play it better than others. But just go out there and be strong in your faith. You don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to prove that you're better than the person next to you. All right? Proclaim Christ's victory on the cross if you do believe in him. Don't get too wrapped up in yourself. All right? Don't be too hard on yourself. And this world is beautiful, but be aware that the system is sick. And don't let that sick system consume you because it'll make you sick. Woo! Cheers, guys. Take care. Much love. God bless you all. And if you want a book, just drop me an email. Cheers.